Good evening, this is the Oscar expert here with Brother Bro, and we are going to review Toy Story 4. It has been 9 years since the last Toy Story film, which everybody thought was the end of the Toy Story movies, but no. And then what does everybody say? They say, uh-oh, are we getting Monsters University, Finding Dory, and The Incredibles, which are all just like, if like The Incredibles went to Nickelodeon and they had like just like an episode like as an extra thing. That's what that movie was, sort of. Maybe a little better than that. Not significant. It's not weighty like the Pixar movies that we love the most. I gotta say, first 5 minutes of this movie, I knew it wasn't that. This movie was grade A Pixar. What you love about Pixar, you go and you're reminded of what you love about Pixar. It's on par with the other Toy Story films. It is in no way a disappointment, and it's actually a movie that made me do a lot of thinking. I think it's a deep movie. Of course, a heartwarming movie. Yeah, I mean, I gotta say, Cole, I agree with you. This is A-tier Pixar. You know, you had the toy nostalgia. You had those heartfelt moments. There's a lot of pieces of the film that like feel really, really well thought out. The story feels like it needs to exist. That they had to give like Woody this time to shine in a way that like we haven't, seen him. And like it was just so good to see Woody have this journey. I just felt like very enriched by this movie and the way that Pixar movies are most capable of doing. I've not seen a Pixar movie so satisfying since Inside Out. Coco? Maybe Inside Out. Although I'd say maybe I like this one like a tad more than Inside Out. I actually thought this movie was even maybe more fun than Toy Story 3. Like throughout the middle, like it didn't drag for me. It had like that great energy. I think a big part was because of the new characters it was introducing. They felt like really purposeful. Their journeys were very clear. So like you connected with the heart, and there's just a really funny movie, I thought. We actually have one of the characters here. We got Ducky. And this is Strawberry Woody. Forky was such a thematically significant character. You had Bo Peep, who's not a new character, but has never gotten this kind of attention, really played into the story well.
Let's not pretend like she means it. Like, is
I can explain to you where she falls thematically into the story. Justin,
because she's like telling Woody like he needs to let go. She's like
she's the one that he meets who says that I don't need to be attached to a human. The villain is much more well done than that bear in Toy Story 3, who was a little one-dimensional. There's a lot of development going on with the antagonist in the movie, the dolly.
You wouldn't think that character, who initially you're creeped out by, but then slowly get to like warm up to, would have a tear-jerking moment. The movie is true to this like feeling that all the other films have given us about like the significance of toys, like the attachment they give us, how we personify toys to like need us as much as we need them. There's so many moments like where it's just like milking your organs, and it really brought me back to like that feeling of like, oh my god, like a toy, like it needs a home, like it needs somebody to love it, and how people are just like that too.
It's a mature movie. There's no other way to put it. You don't get this in other kids movies. It really was thought-provoking for me from the beginning of the movie, where Woody says goodbye to Bo Peep in the flashback, and you see that the movie becomes about letting go. It becomes about the life of a toy is what you can't predict where you're going next. You might have to move on, and like how does one deal with that?
Like the changing of like who your family is in life. He's given a rebirth in life. It's like a second chance when he felt like he was, as the movie says, broken. He finds like a new light and a new purpose. It's like such a nice message, and it really really hit me in the gut.
Let's do an in-depth analysis of Forky right now.
Oh boy.
Because I'm going to do this. There is something existential about this character as well. I mean, it's kind of a joke in the movie, like the fact that he was an inanimate objects resembled together and suddenly came to life, and he's like, I don't know what I'm doing here. What I do know is that the garbage brings me comfort because I was made from garbage. He like keeps trotting back to the garbage can, keeps trying to throw himself away because he has been brought comfort by the garbage. It is what he knows, what's familiar. It is, quote, what is warm to him. It's an obvious parallel to Woody, who is always trying to go back in some way to Andy, because Andy is the one that brought him warmth initially in his life. He can't have that anymore because Andy has moved on, and the new girl that they're living with is not giving him the attention. He's just not her favorite toy. There's actually the song in the movie by Randy Newman. It's called "Don't Throw Yourself Away." There's this there's a little bit of like a self-esteem sort of message here, because Forky thinks he's garbage because he's brought up thinking that he is garbage, and therefore he feels comforted by the fact
it's like
of
where
being
he's
garbage.
from. It's the role he's always played. I think a lot of it's about
It's the
like,
role
what
he's
you're
played.
used
So,
to.
like, if you're a kid and you're used to being told that you're garbage, you're gonna think that you're garbage, and you're gonna like reinforce that.
And then all Woody does is live in the past, thinking, you know, I was Andy's favorite toy. Like this was like the best role of my life, and I'll never have it back. Or like, you know, he's trying to get it back, but he can't. And so it's about the journey of discovering like who else you can be, or what else you can be. You know, what other roles can you play in life? Or what else can you get out of it? You're never broken. You're never. This could be a message for like so many different scenarios in like human life. It's such a tear-jerking, heartfelt message for like anybody.
I also think that the dynamic between Woody and Forky was interesting because Woody is the one who's trying to, you know, pull Forky away from the garbage, but then there's that moment where Forky is going in the direction that Woody sends him in, and then Woody goes in a different direction because he sees something that reminds him of Andy. He thinks he sees Bo Peep. So really, like, Forky is Woody the whole time, but Woody just doesn't realize it. Apart from all the deep things in this movie's a good time. There's a lot of humor. There's funny moments. You have side characters like Jordan and Peele's characters who are kind of just there for the fun.
Jordan and Peele's characters.
Keegan and Peele's characters.
Key and Peele.
Key and Peele's characters. I thought that the environments in this movie were really nice. It makes sense that there would be a world of antiques and a world of like carnival toys. And most of the movie takes place in these two locations, but because, you know, the movie is so inventive, they feel like just giant locations waiting to be explored.
A lot of the supporting characters felt like fresh and exciting, and the toys themselves were like fun and inventive. There's so many like details of like different toys and like how they interact, and like, oh, that's funny. There's like they got like the vroom, and then like the fairy goes and spins up.
I really was entertained by the movie. Made me think provoking thoughts. Thought it was deep. After the movie, you can just discuss it, and it's worth analyzing because it really is
very well
a movie
thought
worth
out.
Dissecting. Has good characters. Visually, very nice. What can I say that I don't like about this movie? Really nothing. And ultimately, it was touching and emotional. I have to give this movie a 10 out of 10.
You know, Cole, I would agree with you on all the things that are great about this movie. I don't have a reason that I wouldn't give it a 10, but I would just give it a 9. Probably just because, like, you know, I just would deserve 10 for, like, my favorite movies, and this movie, like, isn't one of my favorite, but it's, like, a very good 9.
You mean of the year, or,
yeah. Like,
not...
this movie might be top 10, but it's more like maybe top 15 for me.
Oh,
Like,
I would say
it
it's
was
top 10.
super well done. I have, like, absolutely no complaints about the movie. I think it's almost perfect, you know? It didn't, like, 10 me, you know? It definitely, like, more than 9 me.
You might be wondering, the Oscar expert, what Oscars do you think that this movie will get nominated for? Obviously, it's winning animated feature. Unless Frozen 2 is somehow like better, which is not going to happen. Its predecessor, Toy Story 3, was nominated for 5 Oscars. Best Picture included, Best Screenplay included. Will Toy Story 4 get Picture and Screenplay some major awards? Picture, I don't think it's going to happen.
Absolutely doubt it.
It's just not happening. You just don't feel it.
You don't feel like that movie is going to get a slot in the Best Pictures of the Year list, and they're going to be happy enough just giving it an animated feature.
People kind of like Toy Story 3 a little bit more in general. It feels like we've already had this Toy Story come back and awarded it with Toy Story 3. I don't know if the hype is as strong to get this nominated for Best Picture. Best Screenplay, I'm not counting it out if the category is looking, you know, wibbly wobbly.
I also wouldn't count it out, you know. It had a great screenplay, so it's not totally counted out, but at the same time, like, live action films are going to take precedent over this movie.
I mean, if you remember the year of Mudbound, Disaster Artist, Logan, Molly's Game, 4 non-Best Picture nominees because they couldn't find anything to nominate. Yeah. If it was that year, Toy Story 4 would have gotten nominated in the adapted screenplay. So if it's like that, I think it will get in.
What other nominations did 3 get? Was it original song and score?
It got sound editing.
Sound editing? No, that's not going to happen for this movie.
No, they stopped nominating the Pixar movies for sound awards after Toy Story 3. Original song. every single Toy Story movie has been nominated for original song. For Randy Newman, who always writes the songs, does the score.
This was a fun song though, and I didn't feel like it was like the heart of the movie. It didn't come at like a significant time. It didn't play a significant role. It was just kind of like throw it in there in the first half. I mean, it could happen, but it's
I think
not
it might
like,
happen because
it's not like Let It Go, where that song
No,
means the
it's
whole
not.
movie.
I agree. It's maybe a little weaker looking, but it could just become one of those locks.
Song is weird. Song is a weird ass category.
Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. If you came alive, where would your face come out of?